Well, here we are, Ben. It's a Thursday night, and you're checking yourself out, are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
So on the podcast on Monday, Good Movie Monday, if you're watching this video and haven't listened to the show, we had the director Simon McCoy of Mortal Kombat that's just been released into cinemas. We interviewed him, and we're going to talk about Mortal Kombat right now because we really didn't talk about it on the show
No,
at all.
at all. We let the interview do our talking for us.
So we did catch the film, and I think you and I both agree it was pretty cool.
It was freaking awesome.
It was freaking awesome. I got a big kick out of this one. And where to start? Like, I mean, first and foremost, Josh Lawson has to be right up there in conversation because he absolutely steals the show.
Steals the show.
He plays Kano, which is, and he's a very, very ochre Aussie.
Yeah, it's like, I don't even know if he was in the game. It's just because in the first two movies of Mortal Kombat, the guy who played him, who was from JAG,
Yep.
happens to be an Aussie.
Yep.
And it just kind of carried through. He's an international gun runner. I don't know if...
I think he's Aussie in the game. The point of reference here being that I'm not a gamer and I haven't played Mortal Kombat since the N64 days.
Well, there was no country specific. Like, you never heard anyone talk in the original game. Like, there was never a thing where Kano was Aussie.
I don't remember. Did they have bios, like little, before you play, you got character bios and things like that? I can't recall.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, I think the character being Aussie is just a little,
I mean, it's super funny, and it's almost like a Paul Hogan Aussie, like an Aussie that doesn't kind of exist.
He played Hogs on the TV
on
movie.
the TV show, yeah. But it's super. Like he's like a Barry McKenzie type Aussie.
He is. Like, I mean, anyway, full of bangers. I believe that a lot of his dialogue was improvised, because he is a master improviser. And, like, I don't think it gets any funnier than when he discovers what his super ability is. He just says...
I fucking knew I'd get it first.
He goes fucking lasers. He goes,
yes.
Better than fireballs, you fucking pussy. Now, look, we're not going to give you spoilers because a lot of you won't have seen the film, but see it for him alone. You don't have to know Mortal Kombat at all. I think it is
I don't think so. I mean, although look, it's pretty hard not to have some idea of what Mortal Kombat is, and usually, like, that's some of the criticism of the film is that it takes it a bit for granted that you know a bit about the Mortal Kombat
not at all
universe. I disagree, but and like in some movies, it's glaringly obvious that like they leave out these massive chunks that if you haven't seen and if you are familiar with it, it's actually frustrating that they do it because you're making a huge leap.
Yeah,
I did not get that at all from this film.
I think the setup was very basic, but it was everything you needed to know.
Yeah.
Right. So you've got we know there's two realms because that is introduced with a title card.
Yeah.
And we see the two realms. And then you got the little bit of exposition where Sonya in her apartment is talking about how she's been researching this tournament. It's not a lot of information, but it's all you need to know. And the thing about the gameplay, which I was pretty sure of, and then I talked to friends of mine that play the game religiously, and they've said the same thing, that the characters don't have any real subtext. Like the characters are just characters. You don't really care who they are because the aim of the game is to just beat the next one.
The funny thing is that I'm pretty sure that when Mortal Kombat kind of started, Scorpion and Sub-Zero are both on the same side. Like
they change.
And then it's been it has been a constant thread through the genesis of the Mortal Kombat universe that they have become like that they're actually rivals and Scorpion may or may not actually be a good dude kind of thing. Like there's lots of kind of like lore about their relationship.
Well, between all the installments of the game franchise, they do chop and change, and like Sub-Zero also has like I think a son or a nephew or something like that becomes Sub-Zero. But anyway, as far as like an entry point to people who've never seen it, I think it's very easy to get into. I think it for what it is within itself, and it is a film like within itself. Like so, it takes everything from the game, but at the same time, the lead character is not from the game. So, right there, you've got sort of.
Well, he kind of is, but he's not.
He's not really a character from the game. Like,
well, no, he's but he's basically the son of I mean, I don't want to give it away. I mean, it's pretty obvious who he is, but he is he has the potential to become. One of the central characters.
But at this point in time, he's not.
But no.
Yeah.
And his thing is pretty... I mean, that is... If I did have one complaint about the film is that his character is a bit shit. Like, all of the other ones are all like... Earth's greatest fighters, and they're all, he's just like a totally kind of crapped out kind of ex-fighter who has zero self-confidence, and he's just kind of
But that's
shit.
but that there lies his arc, because,
Well, I know, you need to have an arc.
Yeah.
I mean,
and of course he's the family guy, so he's the emotional connection that the audience is supposed to have with the film.
Yeah, except that he just makes you want to just shake him, just fucking man up, cunt.
He does in the end.
He does, but he does it only when his family are put in jeopardy. He's
he's
motivated out of fear. Everyone else is kind of motivated.
There lies the difference between game world and movie world. You kind of have to have that little dynamic and all that.
Yeah, you gotta have some kind of storyline in there. Otherwise it'd be pretty.
But you as well. But I noticed a lot of people for this one. We went to the screening, and in the foyer we could hear people talking amongst each other. In the cinema, we certainly heard them talking. And before the fucking film even starts, they're all talking about how shit it's gonna be. Man, this is gonna suck, and man, this is gonna be stupid. It's like a lot of people, and these are no doubt the ones that have really gone to town on it online. They set themselves up to hate it. They just wanted to hate from the get-go.
Yeah.
I just went in looking forward to it. I had no expectations. I'm like, I don't care about Mortal Kombat one way or the other. But when you have reasonable expectations, you're going to be impressed. And if you go in there just determined to hate it, then that's exactly what's going to happen.
What you're going to do?
You're going to pick it apart. And it's easy to pick apart, if you want to. But if you, it's fucking...
But that's, it's a Mortal Kombat movie. You're like, on one hand, what do you expect?
Yeah.
And it is... more so than any other movie based on a video game, this gives you everything that you want from the game.
Yeah.
It's not like Super Mario Brothers where there's no fucking way to incorporate the game into the... You have to develop a whole bunch of weird shit to make it a film.
Yeah.
Or the previous versions of Mortal Kombat, which are like... They spend so much time with the other stuff that the actual game stuff isn't as good as it could have been. Like Street Fighter has fucking nothing to do with the game of Street Fighter.
They just take a thread and run with it.
You know, so many other ones that just are kind of half-assed, and they use the game as just a starting point.
I think it's...
Whereas this is 100%.
I think it's one of the better. It's one of the better adaptations from a game.
It's certainly one of the most enjoyable.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
And it actually doesn't make you angry, which a lot of the other ones do when you watch them, and you kind of just this is so bad. It's aggressively bad, and you just feel like this movie has obviously been made by committee and a whole bunch of dudes, marketing dudes who want to sell more fucking versions of the game and toys and stuff. Whereas this actually feels like a movie that is great, that is based on the game the right way.
Yeah.
And it's just fucking fun.
It's fun from the get go, right from the start to the finish. And in our crowd, people loved it. The audience cheered.
They were laughing all the way through. Even the people who after the movie were talking about how much they hated it. We were sitting near them, and I'm listening to laugh at all of Lawson's stuff and really getting into it. I'm like, well, how can you look down on it? And that's the worst thing about it, is that they're looking down at it. Not that that they're somehow better than the film. And
but they're above this type of film.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. And what was I going to say? I've lost my train of thought. But anyway,
it's my fault. I apologize.
That's okay. I got a big kick out of it, and I'd love to know what you guys think of it. So in the comments of this video, please, share your thoughts on it, love or hate. We're not going to really go head to head with you. We're just going to like what you say.
Yeah.
And let you guys fight it out. Let you guys
automatic
fight it out.
thumbs up.
You guys can fight it out amongst yourselves. Anyway, I'm looking forward to part 2.
I am so looking forward to part 2. And it's okay. What I liked about it though is that it's a massive TV cast. Everyone in it has starred in one or more, if not one more TV shows. This is the glory days of this kind of film where that's the cast you get.
And how's old David Field rocking up?
So good. He was rocking that American accent like nobody's business. He was hungry, thirsty throughout the whole film. It was great.
So I was saying to people that haven't seen it, I'm like, oh, David Field was in it. David Field? I'm like, yeah, Oak, hungry, thirsty. Oh, him.
Ghost of the Civil Dead? No?
Yeah. Every night.
Yeah.
It's come a long way.
First learned about this 7 years ago. On a mission in Brazil to capture a wanted fugitive. When we we got there. It tore through our unit in seconds. The target had superhuman abilities. It had the same marking you do, Cole.
It's a birthmark.
What do you mean?
He was born with it.
It's not a birthmark, Cole. It means you've been chosen.
Throughout history, different cultures all over the world reference a great tournament of champions. That dragon marking? I think it's an invitation to fight for something known. As Mortal Kombat.
These are your champions.
I'm Sonya. That's Kano.
I'm Liu Kang.
Name's Jax.
Kung Lao. Lord Raiden. The fate of Earth is in our hands.
No matter how many of my people you put in the ground, we will not fail. Kill them.
Kano wins. You fucking beauty.